Hello Pisces, it's your month, darlings. For the month of March, we're going to be looking at your plant spirit ally to see what will best assist you going forward. What energy, what plant, what medicine is going to be for you in your month. Let's take a look, darlings. Look at that, you've got Daisy. Be yourself. How perfect is this? How perfect is this for your month, darlings? Here's the booklet, so you can see a bigger image and you can see it in all its gloriousness. This is the Herbarium by Maya Toll, and this is the big version. I got the big book. We like big books. Big butts, and we cannot lie big books, and we cannot lie both. It's going to be a strange reading, Pisces. I have that feeling. I have to say as well, this is actually the plant spirit I have chosen ahead of time. I've not told anybody this, so sneak peeks, previews for Patreon for the month of March, which starts not next week but the week after for that cycle. I knew which plant spirit I wanted. And so this aligns perfectly. I kind of love that synchronicity. That's really gorgeous. I like that. We're on track, Pisces. It's your month to be yourself. So what does Maya have to say? Daisy comes from a huge family. This is weird to me because my cat is also called Daisy. I'm like, does she? Where's Floof? Anyway, her sisters, Chamomile, Echinacea, Boneset, Elecampania, I'm not sure how you pronounce that one, Feverfew and Milk Thistle, to name a few, are amongst our greatest healers. Luckily, Daisy learned early that the best way to distinguish herself was simply to be herself. So despite her tomboy appearance with white petals that are often tatty or rumpled, her status as the most common of medicines, for she'll heal a bruise and quiet inflammation, but nothing like her cousin Arnica Montana, she's a favourite guest. She persistently finds her way into our homes, although she does resist. Maybe that's an energy that we need to bear in mind, because that was one of those spiritual slips. So bear that in mind, bear resist in mind. She persistently finds her way into our homes, our gardens, and reminds us over and over again that loving ourselves is the very best medicine. The reflection here is to move towards your truth. Do you, Pisces, connect and compare yourself to those around you? Are you questioning your looks, your intelligence, your ambition, or your wealth? When you're in competition with others, you're moving away from your truth and towards some artificial version of success. If no one were looking, who would you be? How would you wear your hair? What would you eat? Where would you sleep? Deep dive into Daisy medicine and unearth your true self. And the quote here is from Brené Brown, The Gifts of Imperfection. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go of who we think we are supposed to be and embracing who we are. The ritual suggested is to be kind to yourself. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. If you're prone to perfectionism or wanting to be special in some way, or you're constantly berating yourself thinking you need to be more beautiful, more magical, smarter, or better cook, it's hard to realise that you're already wonderful the way you are. But Daisy can help this. This is her speciality. They suggest finding a photo of yourself from when you were young as a kid, because it's human nature to have greater empathy for children. Use this evolutionary idiosyncrasicity to your advantage as you work to develop empathy for yourself. It's easy to think kind thoughts when you see the child you were once. Who could be mean to that little one? Can you? After you've chosen a cute photo of kid version of yourself, decorate with daisies. You can cut out photos of them and collage them onto the photo, or use a marker and hand draw them. Get creative, because this photo is becoming a shrine to you. Whenever you feel like you're not enough, not good enough, rich enough, pretty enough, smart enough, pull out your photo. Absorb Daisy's easy self-acceptance and shine that energy into your heart. I find it interesting here that the energy of kid stuff has come up again. It's not the only inner child mention that we've had already, and we're only at Pisces. So this plant spirit here is very much about, for me at least, a remembrance of innocence, a remembrance of wish fulfillment. How many of us created daisy chains or did the early spell of pulling like petals off poor daisies, he loves me not, from being a kid, right? And it was all innocent, sweet fun at that point. And there is an idyllic nature in it, but there is also a resistance, like I said, and I think that's going to be important as we cross these two energies over. There is a beauty in simplicity for you this month. Not everything has to be grandiose. Not everything has to be planned out to an inch within its life. You can go back to a simpler time, a playfulness, finding fun in something simple. What people often just miss as childlike or, immature sometimes is exactly the medicine that we need. Because children actually have a lot to teach us, because, as I often say, I think the path of spirituality is actually not a progression towards something, but is actually a pulling away of the layers of conditioning that have been done to us to find our truest selves, to find our sense of authenticity within. And these ideas that they're talking about in the book, you're not this enough, you're not that enough, those have been put there by someone or something, whether it be societal, conditioned in, whether it be cultural, or whether it be something you have learned from family members, friends growing up with, or just people in general. You will remember, you will have memories connected to these thoughts of inferiority on some level. The way that you sort of beat yourself up emotionally or mentally is a direct result of something you learnt somewhere. And unfortunately, the world is a nasty balance of lessons that are not so great for us and some that are. And a lot of the time from childhood, those can really stick because we're developing and we are young and impressionable. So sometimes it's kind of like peeling away those layers of what has actually been done. And that kind of photograph of Daisy in a chain kind of reminds me of that too. Like looking at memories as if they were a photograph, being observant to that process without like deeply wading into it. So it can be kind of observing that moment of where you learned that lesson without taking it into yourself again. So at this point, this person told me I was ugly, or this person told me I was stupid, something like that. And I look at that from an outsider perspective about how unkind that was, how cruel that was. I look at their motivations, I look at their failings. I'm not taking their word for it anymore because they're not an authority on me. They don't get to tell me, they don't get to dictate to me anymore. And this is going to be a process. You can't do this one and done and you will suddenly believe it, because the human brain doesn't work like that. We have to kind of recondition ourselves a little bit. So you might find this is over the entire month and you're just acting in moments of kindness towards yourself this month, reminding yourself that you're worthy, that you're lovable, that you are beautiful, and you have all your weird little bits and pieces that make you you, but that's part of the great tapestry of yourself. And who we are is always a work in progress anyway. We evolve, we change, we make different choices. So who you are at any given moment does not have to be who you are becoming. So this month is probably going to be a mixture of those things, of resisting conditioning from the past and the beautiful art of being kind to yourself while you are continuing to become who you are becoming. Many blessings, darlings, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon. If you enjoyed this, you can, of course, get a weekly reading on Patreon, and you can also, on the correct tier, get a deep monthly personal reading if you would like to hear more. Don't forget to check out your moon and rising sign for a further information, and many blessings, darlings.